Hey there, good evening. Welcome to the Bronx Buzz, a very special show this evening. We have two excellent segments about two excellent cultural events going on in the Bronx. And I don't want to take any more time waiting to introduce you to our first guests. So we will say good evening to, and I got the long list, even though I know him so well. 7-time Grammy nominee. He's a noted drummer, percussionist, composer, arranger, conductor, producer, educator. You can call him professor if you want. Documentary filmmaker, band leader of the Multiverse Big Band, also a proud member of the Bronx Walk of Fame. My longtime friend and your longtime friend, Bobby Sanabria. Nice to see you yet again.
Thank you so much, Gary. Great to be here. And it's eight times.
Eight times. All right. And my new friend, brand new friend, is Juan Ospina, who is kind of putting together this event, and I'm going to pronounce it the Anglican way, Rueda de Oro. You're going to pronounce it properly. But this is coming up June 10th at the new beautiful outdoor stage at the Bronx Music Hall. Juan, nice to see you. Nice to have you on the Bronx Buzz. Tell us a little bit about what, and pronounce it right, and tell us a little bit about what Rueda de Oro is about and what we're going to see on June 10th.
No problem. Thank you for having me here.
Sure.
You didn't pronounce it that bad. You did good.
Oh, okay. I did all right.
Rueda de Oro.
Rueda de Oro. Okay.
It's a golden circle. It's a golden drum circle. And Rueda de Oro, it is, in a nutshell, it's a non-physical space created for everybody, for everybody in the community in New York City to come and gather around the drums, and in this case, the traditional drums, from the Caribbean part of Colombia, which is where I'm from. I'm from the Colombia, and I've been playing traditional music for about Colombian traditional music from the Caribbean coast for almost 20 years. So in doing so, I've been part of many projects, but realized that there isn't a kind of an open to the public drum circle that people can adhere to and go to and become part of that community and grow with that community. Always understanding that what we're doing is learning from the traditional
and
kind of aspect.
It's culturally based, so it's not. Listen, there's nothing wrong with people hanging around in the park and ever having a drum circle, but the idea here is that it's going to be Colombian based. Can you describe, and maybe we'll ask Bobby to do a little rhythm for us. Can you describe what is the distinction of Colombian music that we'll all hear and enjoy on June 10th?
Well, I mean, yeah. So I guess the distinction that would be a broad, right? I mean, answer. I think what the rhythms that distinguish our traditional music in Colombia from the Caribbean. There are many, but to name a very few from the Caribbean coast, we have rhythms known as cumbia, that comes from that region of the country, and then spreads out in all Avia Yala, known as South and Central America, and now a lot of people know cumbia. There are rhythms like bullerengue, which sounds a little bit like merengue, but it's really bullerengue from Colombia. There is also bullerengue in Panama. There are rhythms like gaita, puya, porro, and these are all like different.
And so what you're going to do is start a circle and get it started, and then people will pick it up. Bobby, can you describe to us, bang on your chest, or you could bang on anywhere and make it happen. Describe what characterizes these rhythms.
It's great what Juan is doing, because New York City, as we were talking off mic before we started the interview, New York City is not a stranger to Afro-Colombian rhythms. For example, the cumbia, which has been adapted to dance orchestras since the 1920s, the 1930s, and we play cumbia here. Any well-versed Latin musician knows how to play cumbia in a dance band context, like. Way, yes, indeed.
He did it pretty good, right? He's good.
Like Chande, which is another type of rhythm from Colombia, which is also known as garabato, but these are rhythms. Colombia, of all of the countries in Latin America, for me, has the most variety of rhythms. I would say
Really?
Colombia,
I had no
and
idea.
you can correct me if I'm wrong. I think Colombia has about 150 styles of music. Just incredible the amount of variety there is in
Wow.
Colombian music. Some of the rhythms fit with different styles, but what distinguishes them is the harmony and the melody. You know, people think, well, esa es el mismo ritmo, that's the same rhythm. The porro is the cumbia. I go, no, listen, the melodies are different, the harmony is different, the storytelling is different. So one is getting to the basic foundation, which are the rhythms, and he's making them accessible, and he's being an advocate for it at the same time, so that
You know,
people can learn to these rhythms, participate, and hopefully the musicians that come that are not have never heard Colombian, the variety of
they
Colombian
pick it
rhythms,
up.
they can use them as inspiration.
You know what excites me is the possibility that children, that Bronx kids, will see it and learn it, and whether it's their culture or somebody else's culture, then they begin to understand the spectrum of music and find out where it plays. And of course, if we can inspire some of these kids to play music or play rhythms, it'll make us all do better. Juan,
It's very important that I reiterate that these rhythms, their heritage, their root is Africa, which is the mother of all of us.
right?
We all come from Africa because that's the birthplace of civilization. So no matter what color you are, you could literally say, I am African, and you would not be wrong. And
Wow.
we also have so many separations because of racism, and it's by color and all that stuff.
Of course.
But what Juan is doing, and it's so great that Elena, my co-artistic director, Elena Martinez, reached out to him, or he reached out to her, and we have this at the Bronx Music Hall's amphitheater, which is a small part of the outdoor space of the plaza. We also have a large outdoor stage, but the amphitheater is smaller. It holds about 80 to 100 people, and you can get very intimate. And man, it's fantastic.
And so Juan, will participants be able to do it, or are you going to bring in professional musicians who are going to work with you to create those?
Right. So I'm glad you're asking that. So the people that are gathering, me as a person who have been playing traditional music from Colombia here in New York, I am part of a community, right? And then this started in September last year during the hot days, and I called on to the people I know, hey, let's get together in the park. I'm doing this effort of like having these drum circles meet again. It's been the pandemic, it's been all kinds of stuff. Let's just touch base. Let's just go out there and play like we know. So we did that, detached from any names project, meaning no, it's not like, oh, it's this band or this. No, it's just all the community. We've been playing for a long time. There are people from projects like Maracabruja. There are people from projects like Revolu in it. There are people from projects like La Manga. People from projects like former people who were part of a project called Bulla en el Barrio are there. So different folks come to be a part of this community because it's part of the community that I am from too. So, to be short, what it is that in that community, you have drummers who have played all their lives. So when they get there, each one teach one.
Right.
So each one teach one means everybody starts to impart the teachings of what's going on without necessarily knowing that they're teaching. So that, in the tradition, no matter what traditional music it is from, it has a way to preserve itself. So if we come in first, probably you'll be able to clap and you'll be able to answer. And that already is enough, because if you keep coming onto the different rails, then at some point you'll be like, oh, maybe I
can do it.
This pattern goes and I can do it. Then somebody sees you there and you're probably going to be like, come on, sit down and I'll teach you here. Now.
Got it. Listen, I want to, before we run out of time, I'm sorry, I got to cut you off, because otherwise we're going to run out of time. No problem. This is at 6:00 on June 10th. That's a Saturday at the Bronx Music Hall. People will be very mad at me if I have Bobby Sanabria on my program and I don't ask him what he's been doing. And apparently he's just put out some music. Did you want to add something else, Juan?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that it's from 4 to 6 is when we do the workshop.
From 4 to 6.
And then from 6 to 8, there's no workshop. So that means that people are in the Rueda. We're encouraging the Bronx community to bring their drums and long skirts.
Okay.
That's what it is.
Got it, Bobby. You and the award-winning Multiverse Orchestra have been Multiverse Big Band have been doing new stuff. You got to put some new stuff out. Tell us.
Well, we have a new album that just came out about 2 weeks ago. Vox Humana was recorded live at Disney's Club Coca-Cola last year as our previous Grammy-winning album and jazz album of the year, West Side Story Reimagined. So the band is live, no jive. It's incredible.
Can we show? We're going to show a clip, right? We can show a little bit of what this band looks
the
like.
great thing about this new album is it features 3 of the greatest living contemporary jazz singers today. Janis Siegel, from the 10-time Grammy winner from the Manhattan Transfer, the queen of the blues and jazz from Newark, New Jersey, Antoinette Montague. She sings with the Ellington Orchestra. And the great Bronxite and musical polyglot Jennifer J. Ledesma, who is half Dominican, half Puerto Rican, but you're going to see her now in
we're going to see her in this
Brazilian
clip.
Portuguese.
I got it. We don't want to run out of time. Anderson, roll the magic video. Let's take a look. Here's Bobby and the Multiverse Big Band. We cut it up like crazy, but there's a ton of stuff in there. That's
well, at least you got to see Jennifer dancing.
that was it. Listen, well, then pick up Vox Humana. That's the name. That's the.
It's very important that I say this.
Yes,
I said for the women to bring their skirts, or the men if they want to dance in a skirt. But it's
I thought of that, and you're right.
Yeah, no, I did right.
It's very important the dance component. Of the folklore, so you'll get to learn how to dance.
Wait, say that again, Bobby. It's very important. Say that again.
It's very important the dance component of Colombian music, and you'll get to learn some of the traditional dances as well.
Okay, so that is on June 10th, as we heard from Juan that it starts at 6:00. I just want to mention the Mexican Folklore Dance Workshop at the Allerton Library on Barnes Avenue, June 24th at 3:30 p.m. Listen. You guys are saving the world, and that's why we have you here on BronxNet Television and the Bronx Buzz. Bobby Sanabria, thank you for everything always. And Juan, so nice to meet you. We need your culture. We need your passion. We need your music. We need your rhythm in the borough of the Bronx. That's what makes us tick.
Hey, I need the Bronx, and I need all of that you said. I'm just a part.
All right. Great. Listen, we're going to take a short break. And then when we come back, we're going to talk about the LGBTQ plus, et cetera, fair. And that's coming up right after we take a break. Don't go away.
Is it time yet?
It's time.
Let's start time for dinner.
Oh, it's Rueda de Oro.
Donating pet food is one of the many ways you can help families in your community. Pets and people belong together. Learn more at petsandpeopletogether.org.
Man, it's lonely. Like, going through life lonely.
There is the therapeutic aspect of music, just expressing how you feel. I'm going to talk to Howie about his feelings, make it into a song.
Feel the beat of nature at a park or forest near you. Find a forest and music inspired by nature at discovertheforest.org.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff.
Mama?
Like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
Okay, back with you on the Bronx Buzz. I am thrilled with this evening's program because in both segments, I have people who have been longtime good friends of mine. And so we're going to get right to it. Connie Pacheco is the president of Recoveries Are Us. So nice to see you, Connie. a blessing and good health to you and your family. I know there's some difficult personal things. We never compromise on that. And my buddy Jomil Luna, who's I got a whole long list. He's the executive director, founder, and president of AHF Pharmacy Specialists and the HIV Stops With Me 2023 campaign. And check out his Instagram, check out his Facebook. He's the funniest guy in America, and I love him. Nice to see you, Jomo.
Nice to see you too.
Great. Connie, we're talking this evening. We want to promote June 15th from 1 to 7 p.m., the 5th annual Bronx LGBT Expo. I can proudly say I emceed, I think, the first 2 of them. I was a moderator, right? I'll be working on my other program, but this is an exciting thing. This is an important thing for the Bronx. Tell us all about what's happening. What do we need to know?
Yeah, so absolutely. So this will be the 5th annual Bronx LGBT Expo. As you know, this was originally created by Jose Ramon, a dear good friend of ours who passed away of ALS, and his vision and mission was to bring resources from the community, within the community, and to unite these resources for the future of our community. So this year we'll be hosting it at Lincoln Hospital. We partner with Lincoln Hospital, and it'll be from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. And of course, the first segment is a panel discussion. This year's theme is on bisexuality, HIV, and peer recovery movement. So we're very, very happy about that segment. And then the second segment is going to be the entertainers, the performers. And we definitely have a great lineup this year of entertainers.
You have a great lineup every year.
Thank
and
you.
Then of course, later on will be Jomil and his panel discussion about the HIV Stops With Me campaign. I just want to get back, talk about one of the things that I learned from our buddy Jose, our late buddy Jose Ramon, was he used his art, his photography, to and it's the White Shirt Project. You can look it up online. We did shows with him, and the whole idea was to call attention to the need for support for people with mental issues. I mean, I'm not even saying mental illness, mental issues. Who among us doesn't have them?
That's right.
Right. So I just wanted to say, and I know for he and I did a program on our other program, Bronx Talk, about suicides among LGBT youths, many of whom have had all kinds of difficulties. We don't have to list them now. But this is really a celebration of a growing and vibrant Bronx community, isn't it? So Connie, you just comment on that, and Joma, you'll comment on that next. So Connie, the LGBTQ plus, keep going, you can list anything you want, is growing, and people have pride. What else can I tell? Right? Just tell me a little bit about the community that's invited, that's celebrating with you on June 15th at Lincoln Hospital. Almost at Lincoln Center. That's next, but
that's next. That's right. Call it to the universe.
Anyway, go ahead. I don't want to talk too much. I want you to talk. Just tell us about the community and why this is a shout out, a celebration.
Right, and it is. So as you know, it is Pride Month, so we kick off the Pride Festival.
Right.
It is an LGBTQ plus IA expo. However, it's open to the community. It's free. It's a free event, and our goal and our mission is to educate the community on the issues that I just mentioned a few minutes ago, but also to bring about resources for the community. There's a lot of resources in the community that people don't know that are there. And so we want to highlight that. We want to engage individuals, and we want to reduce the stigma and the myths and the misconceptions that people may have about the LGBTQ community.
And this is the perfect time to bring in Jomil. Jomil, you have been working professionally on many of these issues, but before we get to that, let's just talk in general. Changes in the Bronx, gay and lesbian, LGBT. I don't want to leave anybody out of that community from years ago to now. Is it the same? Is it different? There are pressures. We know what's going on all over the country. Maybe not as much in the Bronx. What's the difference in growth or change from then to now?
Yeah, Gary. Definitely. I mean, first and foremost, I would say that I think we don't have enough representation in places like the Bronx. And so, yeah, New York probably is one of like the gay meccas of the world, right? But here in the Bronx, especially the South Bronx where I work, we still don't have very many venues or just safe spaces and community-based organizations that cater specifically to the LGBTQ plus
That
community.
is fascinating to me. That
Yeah.
because I was just thinking. So, gay bars? Do we have gay bars in the Bronx?
We really
No.
don't have I mean, right now, if I can
Very
name
few.
one, that's too many, right? And they open, they close, they open, they close, and that's been the case for so many years, right? Unfortunately, and that's why people in the Bronx have to travel into Manhattan. That's unfortunate that you can't even, go to a nice, respective, LGBTQ owned or
Sure.
or very, gay friendly venue in your own backyard, and you have to
Wow.
travel
I
into
you
the
know
borough.
I never thought of that.
Yeah, and
Wow.
there's a lot of stigma, obviously, still with anything that has to do with LGBTQ plus, and you know that we're living in a climate where there's so many, anti-LGBTQ laws being passed throughout the United States,
Right.
and I think that today we're living in a state of like fear. But I just want people to know that it's a state of fear, and that it's not. It's a false narrative against the LGBTQ plus community, especially our trans brothers and sisters. Anti-drag. Drag queens are being
Crazy.
attacked. So we are living in times where there's a lot of hysteria, but don't be fooled. We definitely need to stand together, and I think that Connie said it best, that by us, bringing about education and awareness and bringing people together from all walks of life, because the LGBT Expo is for everyone in the community, and it's a free event to bring everybody together so that we can just give back and educate, but also bring people together for the resources that we want everybody to walk away with.
I did tell you guys that I will be there after the show in my suit. That's a vow.
Yeah.
That's a problem. But what you said is fascinating to me. In the Bronx, the BX, how could we not have these kinds of just safe, comfortable places where people, well, I'm going to talk that up. Jomil, I want to ask you about the Slay HIV Stops With Me campaign. We did that on our other program, but this is going to be a center of focus. What is it that you're going to be presenting, and why is it so important to present this at this particular event, but of course anywhere and everywhere?
Yeah, definitely. So for people who don't know, the HIV Stops With Me campaign is a multifaceted campaign throughout the United States where HIV positive spokesmodels, with lived experience of being HIV positive, they talk about their story, they share their story, they do public speaking engagements, but they also run social media campaigns. And we also do campaigns on our website where we share it with the world and the community, just to bring about awareness so we can destigmatize HIV, because HIV is still a problem until we find the cure. And I've said this before, until we find a cure, HIV is something that we should still pay attention to, right? And I'm one of the Bronx spokesmodels, and so it's very near and dear to me that I am working in the South Bronx, but working throughout the entire Bronx community. And I think the goal of the campaign is to reach those people that we can't traditionally reach, right? The people who are not coming in to get tested, to link to care, and to link to services like PrEP and prevention services like PEP.
You somewhat embody the whole concept, because you have been living with HIV and productively and healthfully and living as good a life as you could possibly live. Sometimes I'm jealous of the pictures I see you on the beach. Okay, that's fine. But that's what I guess being the spokesmodel is. And the other thing, of course, we have to mention is that billboard still up on Fordham Road?
Not anymore. It was only up for a short period of time, and I was also on the subways. But it was something that it's a very bold campaign, and I'm happy that it's bold and in your face, because that's what it takes to destigmatize, right?
Sure, and also to meet people like you, like Connie, like anybody, and listen, people may or may not know they meet gay people, or people who have different points of view all the time, either knowing it or not. What are you going to be? We don't have a lot of time now, but what are you going to be doing? You're going to have a panel discussion?
Oh yeah,
an informational thing?
Yes. So on June 15th at Lincoln Hospital, we will have some of the other spokesmodels from the HIV Stops With Me campaign, doing a panel discussion to raise awareness to talk about the state of HIV today. I will also be giving, an overview of the state of HIV, and we will have some HIV experts in the room. So please, follow. You can follow me at Jomil_Luna or HIVstopswithme.org on the website or on Instagram or Facebook. And the Bronx LGBT Expo, the BX LGBT Expo, either on Facebook or Instagram. And please tell your friends and family that we need to raise awareness and that we're going to have so many more panels that day, and we're going to have entertainment, and we need to support our community because it's super important for all of us to come together.
People, Bronx people getting together. You guys know me a long time. I generally don't, categorize you are whoever you are. We accept, we love, and that's what we do. And that, to me, that's what it's about. And as you know, I will always show up or do whatever I can. Connie, this is really important to you. And as I said, I know that you're going through some personal things, but you really had to be here. Why is this so important to you personally that, number one, you're carrying on Jose Ramon's legacy, and number two, you're doing this? We've got about a minute, so I'll give you a minute to just wrap it up for us.
Yeah, so very quickly, it's very important to me because that's exactly it. When Joey died, Jose Ramon, when he passed away, the conversations that we had was that he said, Connie, don't let them forget. And he entrusted the Bronx LGBT Expo to me, along with the White Shirt Project. And that was his thing. He says, please don't let people forget. Don't let people forget about the issues. And he was so, even to his last day, he was so concerned with being able to provide people a platform, a whole community, a platform to discuss and to have these kind of discussions and awareness. So, and he was a dear friend of mine. So yeah, it's very important for me to continue on his legacy and his vision. And I think that we do him proud, this being the third one that Jomil and I do. And I think it's growing. Last year we had it at a Bronx Museum. This year we're at Lincoln Hospital, and it's a huge space along with the auditorium. So next year, who knows?
Who knows? I said Lincoln Center.
Lincoln Center.
Hey, Lincoln Center. I'm there, baby. And then I really will wear my suit.
Yeah,
But listen,
we have to keep it in the Bronx because it is the Bronx.
Well, of
LGBT
course,
Expo.
we're just goofing it. Of course, I would never cross the border. But I will tell you, what's his name? Jose's perspective of using art to make the case was absolutely brilliant, and I was honored. And I don't know if you guys were, but I was honored to be in the White Shirt. My wife and I had a beautiful portrait that he gave to us. So anyway, listen, it is I almost said Lincoln Center, Lincoln Hospital, on June 15th from 1 to 7 p.m. Located at 234 East 149th Street. We all know that. Connie Pacheco, hugs and all the best. And Jomil, high five, man. We just keep telling the truth. That's what we do.
That's
okay. And that'll do it for the Bronx Buzz, folks. Fun show today with the great people of the Bronx. That's what we do. And you know what happens next. We'll see you next week. Good night.